Yo guys, so we are well into the second season of Ranked and I have some honest thoughts that I want to share. So gear up cause it's going to be a long one. While you're at it, why not subscribe? And let's dive into it. Okay, so let's first get the few positives out of the way. I really like the UI of Ranked. I love the animations they added for each league as you swipe to and from each of them. And I think the new league emblems and the cosmetics you get are sick. And I don't think you can disagree here. The only thing that bugs me out is why the heck does the Silver League have a blue background and not silver? It looks too similar to Diamond. Anyway, besides that you can really tell they put a ton of effort into designing the new UI and I love it. If only they put the same effort into the actual system and gameplay. We'll get to that in a bit. The second positive I want to state in my opinion is the modifiers. Now, before you spam the comments with angry emojis, hear me out. To me the mods are a breath of fresh air. I will gladly accept anything that changes up the gameplay. I appreciate the effort the devs put into making the gameplay feel unique and exciting, rather than having the same old stale gameplay as Power League. The idea of changing up the modifiers each season is a genius one, as it keeps the game mode feeling fresh. Well, the main issue for me here is the choice of modifiers. Like most content creators pointed out, the mods feel way too random and more like Mega Pig modifiers than anything else. But hey, I'm not going to complain too much. At least we have something fresh gameplay-wise. Lastly, I like how they made the games till Diamond a best of one. That really quickens up the process and makes it feel smoother to transition to the higher ranks. Skilled players will save themselves a lot of time. Unfortunately, the negatives that I'm going to talk about now heavily outweigh the few positives. Boy, this is going to be a long one, so let's get into it. Really? From Power Play to Power League to Ranked? Ranked is probably the most common term used in most mobile games. I feel like they should have stuck to Power League as that sounded way more unique and special, deserving of a standout game mode. That way, they also wouldn't have had to rename Brawl or Ranks to tiers and cause even more confusion and outrage. However, this issue pales in comparison to the rest I'm about to go over. According to the devs, they wanted Ranked to feel more competitive and more rewarding than Power League. Unfortunately, the mode fails in both areas. Let's first start with the competitive aspect. As I talked about earlier, the modifiers tend to make the mode feel more goofy and unpredictable and render the mode totally unrepresentative of ladder, which is the core of the game. It's crazy how often I see new players reaching not only Diamond but also Mythic and even Legendary. Heck, there's a ton of noobs who even reached Masters. There's clearly an overinflation in ranks. People whose skill was worthy of Gold in Power League are now reaching Legendary and Masters in Ranked. This is why I think the devs should have substantially increased the requirements to play Ranked. They should have made it so that you unlock the mode at 25,000 trophies at the very least, and you also need a brawler at level 10 or 11 to play them, rather than only 9. This is even more important considering they changed the power level scaling last year. Hence, power levels have become even more important and play a more crucial role. A Power 9 brawler can single-handedly lose your team the match, even if you are highly skilled at the brawler. I get that devs want more players to access Ranked and not leave the new players out, but if you really want a mode to keep its competitive integrity, you need to make certain sacrifices. Yes, the matchmaking would be longer and the accessibility would be less, but I'd rather have actually half-decent players play Ranked than some noobs who can't get the basics of the game right, such as choosing the right brawler for the map or staying in your lane. Putting higher restrictions to play Ranked will inevitably reduce the bad randoms significantly and will therefore make for a more fun and less frustrating experience. Also, why are we facing bots in Ranked? That shouldn't even be a thing. There's no justification for that. Ranked itself loses its prestige and value when anyone can get to the top, even those who are skilled. It also makes Masters feel really unexciting. At least with Power League, there was some level of difficulty to push to the upper echelons of the ranks, so having a Legendary or Masters on your profile meant something, cause it was so damn hard to reach. I peaked at Diamond 3 in my entire time playing Power League and I don't consider myself to be a trash player at all. Hence, to me the mode doesn't feel competitive at all. I would even argue ladder feels more competitive than Ranked right now, which is quite the crime to say. Next, let's talk about ELO. While I like that we now have a metric of how much ELO we actually gain or lose, all it does is create disappointment when the system itself is broken. Now, I don't know how exactly they calculate how much ELO you gain or lose, but I've had games where I win a match and actually lose ELO or lose and gain ELO. To me, it seems very random. It really needs some major tweaking. It was painful watching the top players like Corey or Spen grind for days racking up multiple wins to gain elo just lose it all with a single loss, while some unskilled players can get carried to Masters, barely using half a brain cell. The worst part is that the pain and grind of ranked doesn't even feel worth it cause of the trash rewards. Don't get me wrong, I love the whole concept of the ranked drops, and think it's quite innovative. However, it's been implemented poorly. Half the time I get a useless 100 bling from them, and that feels especially painful in the higher ranks, when you have to really work for each rank up. Heck, even the Power League rewards guaranteed better bling than this. I would love to see a minimum bling drop of at least 400 to 500. Also, the 10% skin drop rate is way too low. It should be bumped up to at least 15 or 20%. Or better yet, they should make it guaranteed to get a random skin with a pity system in place. I've opened at least 12 rank drops so far and just pulled my first skin only recently. There are many players who have grinded to Masters 2 times to end up not getting anything decent, while some others end up getting the season skin in their first rank drop. This should not be happening. It just feels so random. Also, I would have loved to see guaranteed progression rewards after every rank up. Maybe give us a fixed amount of coins, power points, and credits, or we could choose that would make ranked feel more worth it to play cause it would serve as an extra means of progression, and not just a source for useless cosmetics that you aren't even guaranteed to get. One more thing that has been frustrating me about ranked is dodging. I don't care what you say or what logic you justify it with. Dodging should be punishable. It's your responsibility to enter ranked when you have a stable connection, or when you are prepared to play. It's a serious game mode and requires some discipline. Hence, I'm happy that dodging now reduces your reputation by a lot. I know some of you might disagree with me, but this is just my personal take. Coming back to what I said earlier, the commonality of dodging will surely be reduced if there are better players playing ranked. And this is why, again, there should be a higher barrier of entry into ranked. You can't have some 1-month-old players competing in the Mythic League when they haven't even gotten half the brawlers in the game yet. I've never been ranked in the leaderboards ever, and I probably never will. I lack the skill required for it. But that doesn't mean I can't throw criticism here as well. I don't like how they rank the top players based on their total trophies rather than their actual elo gained. The system is really flawed. I was watching Spen the other day and I could see his motivation completely disappear after he realized that he needed to play ladder and then grind Masters League to be able to make the top 10. In my opinion, the best of the best should not be decided by one's total trophies. That shouldn't be a thing. We're still not done yet. I don't know how they managed to screw up ranked this hard, but somehow they did. The rank resets. That's right, you know very well what I'm driving at here. What even is the point of the rank boost? It barely boosts your elo if at all. In fact, I actually found this season harder to push than the previous one. Would be great to have an actual boost so it feels like it helps out somewhat. Doubling the elo we get per win sounds like a fair change. Right now, ranked boosts are pointless. No hate to the devs. I think they do a great job with the game overall and I love their vibe and energy. However, I'm befuddled with how they manage to miss the mark with almost every single aspect of ranked. You may think I'm being overcritical of ranked here, or maybe that my points are valid. Whatever the case, I would love to hear all your perspectives in the comments. I'll end on one note. I think ranked is doing well right now and being hyped a lot only cause it's new and that we finally got something different after 3 whole years of having a dull competitive mode. If the devs do not address the above issues quickly, I can guarantee that a lot of excitement will be lost and it'll eventually end up going down into the grave like Power League once did. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already starting to feel a little burnt out with ranked. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.